What if I told you the gospel world's golden couple wasn't so golden after all? That the soft-spoken church queen with the voice of an angel Tamela Mann wasn't just sick, tired, or burnt out. She was being drugged. Not by demons, not by some jealous rival, but by her own husband, Mr. Praise Break himself, David Mann, with a syringe in one hand and a gospel tour contract in the other. And guess who was allegedly helping him stir the holy smoothie of sedatives? None other than TV's favorite, white coat with a stethoscope and a secret agenda, Dr. Jackie. Yeah, that Dr. Jackie. You thought Greenleaf was fiction? Baby, this is realer, messier, and 10 times holier or unholier, depending on how you look at it. And it all came crashing down when David Mann Jr., the quiet son in the back pew, stepped up with a manila folder, a burner phone, and a vengeance hotter than a church mother's wig in July. This isn't gossip. This is an investigative gospel thriller, and the receipts, they're thick enough to be their own sermon. Buckle up, saints, because this ain't just a family feud. This is a choir robe crime scene. So let's stop playing cute and dive right in, because what went down in the Mann household wasn't just betrayal. It was a full-blown gospel assassination attempt, allegedly wrapped in vitamins, Sunday smiles, and forged legal documents. And at the center of this holy mess, the so-called power couple of gospel royalty, Tamela and David Mann, or should we say, Tamela the target and David the scheming puppet master with a smiling mug and a secret poison stash. Yes, I said poison. No, this ain't fanfiction. This is straight out of a gospel nightmare narrated by betrayal and laced with receipts thick enough to choke a church usher. So here's the opening scene. Tamela Mann, the voice behind Take Me to the King, the soul-soothing singer who brought half of Black America through depression, death, and deacon drama, had been slowly fading. Her voice got weaker, her memory started slipping, her energy was off, but no one really questioned it. After all, she's been in the game a long time. People said it was age, stress, menopause, too many tour dates, you name it. But David Mann Jr., he wasn't buying it, because David Jr. may not be the loudest man, but baby, he is the one watching in silence. While the world clapped for Tamela and David Seaster, doing skits on Bet and flipping pancakes on gospel cooking shows, David Jr. saw the cracks forming backstage. He saw his mother slurring words she used to sing backward in her sleep. He saw her hands trembling, her voice barely crawling above a whisper. And every time he asked about it, someone, usually David Seaster or their close family doctor, Jackie, would give the same copy-paste answer. She's tired, she just needs rest. Don't worry about it. Oh, but he did worry about it. Because when your mother, a literal powerhouse of praise, starts forgetting lyrics, missing rehearsals, and napping in the middle of the day like she got hit with a tranquilizer dart, you don't just pray, you investigate, and that's exactly what David Jr. did, quietly, methodically, and with the kind of emotional rage that turns a son into a private detective. He started keeping notes, checking bottles, collecting pills, and what did he find? Unmarked bottles, supplements that looked like they came from a back alley apothecary in a bootleg horror film. Strange pills with no branding, no expiration date, nothing. And the name printed on the prescription orders? Dr. Jackie Walters. Yes, that Dr. Jackie, the one known for preaching women's health, empowerment, and televised empathy. Turns out, the good doctor was allegedly running a side hustle in quieting women down with a smile and a sedative. Let's rewind the tape a little. For years, Dr. Jackie was seen as the Mann family's trusted physician, a guest at their cookouts, a guest star in their lives. Publicly, she was the calm caretaker in pastel blazers who quoted scripture and sipped green juice. But behind the scenes, allegedly, Sis was acting like Nurse Ratched in a Lifetime movie, swapping out vitamins for memory suppressants and handing Tamela prescriptions designed to shut her up. Slowly, no confrontation, no bruises, Just a slow erosion of energy, clarity, and willpower, and who else was in on it? According to David JRB, his own father. Yes, Mr. Brown, the man who played the goofy church husband, the comedic relief, the God-fearing family man with a wig and a heart of gold. Except David JRB says that was just the character. Behind closed doors, he was allegedly a control freak, a financial manipulator, and a man so obsessed with owning the empire, he was willing to erase the queen who built it, because here's what really snapped for David JRB: Tamela wasn't just tired. She was being erased medically, mentally, financially. And every step of the way, there was a carefully crafted cover story. Every missed show? She had a cold. Every forgotten lyric? She's overworked. Every cancelled tour date? She's prioritizing her health. Lies stacked on top of lies, and David JRB had had enough. So what did he do? He pulled a full CSI. He sent off pills for testing not once, but multiple times to independent labs. And when those reports came back, baby, the results weren't just suspicious, they were criminal. The pills allegedly contained banned sedatives, off-label antipsychotics, and memory inhibitors so potent they're typically only used in extreme hospice care, and even then, under the tightest supervision. And guess who authorized those prescriptions? Dr. Jackie, with David C. Oster listed as the emergency medical proxy. That's when David JRB knew this wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't stress. It wasn't age. It was a setup, but he didn't stop there. He started tracking financial documents, royalty payments, and contract amendments. What he found: multiple transfers of gospel royalty checks from Tamela's personal account to a business shell run by none other than David C. Oster. And in the background, new power of attorney documents showing up out of nowhere. Tamela's name on them, but the signature? Looking real, robotic, and so David JRB waited patiently. He waited until the whole house was quiet. He walked into the Mann home one afternoon and found Tamela barely upright, drowsy, distant, and sitting right beside her, smiling like nothing was wrong. Dr. Jackie, and strolling in from the hallway like he was about to serve communion. David Mann Sr. That's when David JRB snapped. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He just dropped a manila folder on the table. Thick, bulging, labeled proof. He began tossing papers like holy grenades. Lab reports, voice memos, prescription logs, bank statements. You were drugging her. You both were. And I've got everything, Dr. Jackie froze. David C. Oster panicked. He tried to gaslight his own son, saying Tamela was confused, delusional, and unable to handle things. But then came the moment that split this story wide open. David JRB hit play on his phone. A voice recording. Tamela's voice. Weak, slurred, but clear. Why does David need my passwords? Jackie said these pills were just vitamins. Boom. Done. Gospel Hiroshima. And that, saints, is where we leave off with the truth dropped. Like a bomb in the middle of the Mann living room. But if you think that's where the story ends, no, that's exactly where it explodes. Because in this video, we're dialing 911, the cops are on the scene, and somebody choir robe is about to get turned into a jail uniform. David JRB's finger is still on the screen, Tamela's voice memo, playing like a ghost resurrected. That's when the silence turned suffocating. David C. Oster, staring blankly like someone just unplugged his Wi-Fi. Dr. Jackie, still smiling, but now it looked like Botox panic. And David JRB, oh baby, he wasn't just confronting, he was prosecuting. Right there in the living room, his mother, slumped on the couch like a gospel legend turned medical hostage, and two people she trusted most looking like villains in a Bible study-themed episode of CSI, Gospel Crimes Unit. And what did he do next? He made the call. David JRB grabbed his phone, no hesitation, no stutter, just righteous fire and cellular signal. My name is David Mann JRB. I'm reporting an attempted murder. My mother is being drugged. I have evidence. I need law enforcement now. Click, let's pause. Imagine being that 911 operator. You're halfway through your gas station coffee, maybe just finished handling a petty theft case, and boom, gospel royalty's son calls you with the plot of a Lifetime movie on a silver platter. My daddy's drugging my mama, my doctors. And on it, I got receipts. Please advise. 5 minutes later, the street was lit up like Christmas Eve revival service. Dallas PD didn't just arrive, they descended. Blue and red lights painting the Mann family mansion like a holy crime scene. Neighbors peeking through blinds. Someone in a choir robe already live streaming on TikTok. And inside, chaos frozen in time. Officers stormed in, calm but ready. Clipboards out, body cams rolling, eyes scanning. One officer approached Tamela, gently kneeling down, asking her questions. Her eyes were glazed, her breathing shallow. But then came the line that broke the foundation of that entire empire. David and Jackie did it for words. Spoken like prophecy, whispered like a confession from heaven. And in that moment, the energy shifted. Tamela wasn't just a gospel legend anymore. She was a victim. And baby, justice had just clocked in. The officers separated everyone immediately. One taking David Seoster aside, another pulling Dr. Jackie out of the room. Tamela was escorted gently to a separate area with a medical responder who started checking vitals, but now, every eye in that room saw the truth. The limp arms, the slurred words, the vacant stare. This wasn't age. This wasn't stress. This was pharmaceutical sabotage. David Seoster started yelling. She's confused. My son doesn't know what he's talking about. She's sick. I've been trying to help her. Classic gaslight. Straight out the narcissist's New Testament. But the officers didn't flinch. Because they had eyes, and more importantly, they had a manila folder thicker than a church casserole. Inside, lab results showing banned sedatives, audio files of Tamela questioning her pills, email threads from Dr. Jackie with lines like, adjusting her dosage to increase compliance, begin phasing her off decision-making responsibilities. Sorry, increase compliance? Sis, you weren't treating a patient. You were drugging a queen into silence. Then came the bank documents. Over $200,000 quietly rerouted from Tamela's royalty accounts into a shady shell company listed under Surprise David Seoster E's LLC. The same man who once said, "My wife is my world," now allegedly robbing her blind while she was too sedated to notice. And that's when the officers turned to Dr. Jackie. "Ma'am, you're under arrest. Step forward. Hands behind your back." Oh, she tried. The usual reality TV excuses started flying. "This is a misunderstanding. I've been her doctor for years." She asked for holistic care. Click. Cuffs. David Seoster. Lost it. "You can't arrest her. She's my wife. This is a setup. He's turning her against me." "Sir, she literally just said you drugged her. This is not a church retreat. This is a felony." And then one of the officers said it. "Sir, you're being detained on suspicion of attempted murder, financial fraud, and elder abuse." Boom. Click. Cuffs. In 5 minutes, the gospel house of love, laughter, and praise was turned into a scene straight out of Law and Order, Sunday School edition. And the streets? Oh baby, the streets were talking. Within hours, footage of the arrests leaked online. Shout out to the bold neighbor with an iPhone and no fear of cease and desist letters. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Black Church, Reddit, all on fire. Justice for Tamela, hashtag David Mann arrested, hashtag Dr. Jackie exposed. Viral tweet said, "I used to cry listening to Take Me to the King. Now I'm crying because her own king tried to take her out." Pastors canceled Mann family tributes. Mega churches deleted appreciation posts. Choirs called emergency meetings. Instagram praise pages suddenly silent. Nobody knew what to say. because nobody expected Tamela Mann to be caught in a real-life spiritual and medical hostage situation allegedly orchestrated by the very people standing next to her on stage for decades. Even gospel legends started chiming in anonymously. She stopped singing live a year ago, one source said. We thought it was vocal rest, but something felt off. She looked tired all the time. Now it makes sense. Oh, now it makes sense. Funny how clarity only shows up when the cops do, and just when you think it couldn't get more explosive, boom, David JRB released the receipts. Not rumors, not allegations, evidence. He had Dropbox folders of emails, screenshots, voice recordings, hidden camera footage. One video showed David Seoster leaning over Tamela's smoothie while she stepped away. He drops 2 unmarked pills in, stirs, smiles, gospel Cosby behavior. Another video, Tamela sipping it. Minutes later, she's visibly confused, eyes half shut, slurring her words, asking, "What day is it again?" That's not just sad, that's evidence of intent. That's motive. That's the smoking communion cup. And it didn't stop there. David JRB had also hired a private nurse, someone Tamela trusted, who was visiting her secretly behind the scenes. That nurse gave a sworn affidavit stating she noticed signs of overmedication and was warned by Dr. Jackie to stay in her lane or risk losing her contract. Stay in her lane? Sis, the only lane you should be in is the one leading to federal prison. By that evening, Dr. Jackie's medical license was under emergency review. David Seoster's financial accounts were flagged. Tamela's business contracts were frozen for auditing. And gospel Twitter, they turned David Seoster into a meme villain. One post read, "When he said I got her back, he meant with a syringe, and through it all, Tamela remained quiet, recovering, watching, but when she finally spoke, the internet cracked in half." And that's exactly where the final this video begins. The trial, the testimonies, and the gospel resurrection no one saw coming. 2 days. That's how long the world waited. 2 days of silence from Tamela Mann as gospel fans, church folks, and internet detectives held their breath like a choir before a praise break. And then boom, Tamela appeared, not on a gossip blog, not through a representative, but in a direct-to-camera, no nonsense, no frills sit-down interview, cream turban, face bare, voice low, but baby, the message? Louder than Sunday morning worship. I was made to believe I was dying, she said, that I was losing my mind, but I wasn't. I was being drugged, silenced, and controlled. And the worst, this video, it came from the people I trusted most, and that was it. The mic drop, the confirmation. This wasn't speculation anymore. This wasn't family drama. This was survival. Tamela didn't cry. She didn't beg. She didn't ask for pity. She spoke like a woman who had seen hell and lived to harmonize about it. She looked into the camera and said, "They tried to erase me, but they forgot one thing. I still had my voice, and now I'm using it." That one line? Boom. Viral. Gospel TikTok went into cardiac arrest. Twitter blacked out. Church aunties who hadn't touched social media since the Obama inauguration were reposting her video with captions like "The devil is a liar." Tamela's voice had lifted generations. But now, it was a war cry. And just when you thought the show was over, baby, that was the opening act. Because now we were walking straight into the trial, day 1. The courthouse was packed tighter than a Kojic convention in July. People wrapped around the block. Fans, reporters, church folk in sequins and sneakers. Some came to see justice. Others just came to see. And at the center of it all, Tamela Mann. In silk, radiant, calm. But this time, not as a victim, as a storm. And right beside her, David JRB gripping that now famous manila folder like it was Moses' original tablet. Across from them, David Seoster and Dr. Jackie, suits tailored, faces frozen, publicists sweating through prayer cloths. But no amount of dry cleaning could erase what they were about to face. The judge walked in, a no-nonsense black woman with glasses, a sharp tongue, and a stare that could rebuke a demon through a Zoom call. She looked at the case file and raised one eyebrow like, "You brought this into my courtroom?" And then the clerk started reading the charges: attempted murder through non-consensual drugging, financial fraud, elder abuse, conspiracy to defraud, a public figure. Yeah, this wasn't Judge Judy, baby. This was Judgment Day. The prosecution came out swinging. They laid down the facts like altar call. Multiple banned substances found in Tamela's bloodstream, administered regularly, without consent. Emails from Dr. Jackie discussing increasing sedation to reduce Tamela's resistance. Voice memos from Tamela saying, "I don't feel right. I didn't ask for this." Bank records rerouting her gospel royalties into a shell company under David Seaster. Surveillance video showing him drugging her smoothie. Y'all, it wasn't a case. It was a cinematic takedown. And then the notebook. You know how Tamela always said she journals? Turns out, she meant it. Each page was time-stamped, filled with entries like, June 18th, Jackie changed my pills again. Said I was forgetting too much. I haven't forgotten anything. August 3rd, David asked for my passwords. Told me not to worry about business anymore. Something feels off. The courtroom went dead silent. Even the reporters stopped typing. It wasn't testimony anymore. It was scripture. And Tamela? She sat still, calm, like she knew the truth had finally caught up. Then came the defense. Or what was left of it. David Seaster's lawyer got up with a trembling folder and the nerve to say, "Your Honor, my client acted in his wife's best interest. She was mentally declining. He took over out of love, protect her image. She's a Grammy winner, not a corrupted PDF file." Then they brought out Dr. Jackie's expert witness, some paid neurologist who tried to say Tamela might have had early onset confusion. In theory, not confirmed, just vibes. The judge shut it down before he finished his sentence. "You're telling me your theory outweighs physical evidence, voice memos, financial fraud, and blood work? Sit down." And that man sat down like a child who just got popped in front of company. But then came the moment that broke everything. David Seaster stood up, uninvited, loud. She was falling apart. "I made her career. I kept this family together. She needed me." Gasps, audible gasps. Someone in the back fainted. Another person screamed, "Demonic," and Tamela. She didn't blink. She turned to her lawyer and whispered one thing, "Play the recording," and boom, back came her voice. "He says I'm tired, but I feel fine." Then suddenly I can't remember my lyrics. "I'm not tired. I'm drugged." You could hear hearts break, like shattered tambourines. The prosecution rested. The judge took 15 minutes. She walked back in, still standing, and said, "David Maan Seaster and Dr. Jacqueline Walters, this court finds you both liable for the willful drugging, coercion, and manipulation of Tamela Mann, with intent to defraud her financially and render her mentally incapacitated. Sentencing to follow," and boom, gavel down. Jackie's license suspended, assets frozen, practice shut down. David Seaster stripped of all financial rights. No contact allowed. Under federal investigation for attempted murder and fraud. And outside the courtroom, revival, church folks waving signs, gospel choirs singing, fans crying. Someone literally passed out from the Holy Spirit or the heat, unclear. And Tamela, she didn't hide. She stood at the courthouse steps and said, "I'm not broken. I'm reborn." Mic drop. And now, the comeback. Tamela signed to a new female-led gospel label. Her shelved album, finally released. Title, Silence No More. Executive producer, David Jr. First single, Voice in the Fire, directed by David J.R.B. himself. Video opens in black and white, a piano on. Fire, Tamela in shadows, singing one line. "You thought I'd fade, but I became the flame." Boom. Gospel iTunes, #1 overnight. TikTok exploded. The hashtag Tamela challenge went viral. Survivors worldwide started sharing stories of abuse, control, and rebirth. And Tamela? She didn't just reclaim her voice. She gave thousands theirs. David JRB signed a book deal, The Truth Behind the Praise, and Lifetime already greenlit the biopic, Silence by Gospel, The Tamela Mann Story, directed by Ava DuVernay. Viola Davis as Tamela. Lakeith Stanfield rumored to play David Jr. You can't make this stuff up. This wasn't just a scandal. This was gospel history rewritten. Betrayal in choir robes. A silent voice turned into a war anthem. But stay tuned because baby, this flame ain't done burning. So now the question is, what would you do if the very people trusted to protect you were the ones signing your silence in pill bottles? This isn't just Tamela's story, it's a warning, a gospel war cry, a wake-up call to every silenced voice in sequence and shame. So drop a comment, smash that like button, and flood the chat with hashtag justice for Tamela and hashtag protect black women. Because this ain't over. Subscribe if you believe truth sings louder than lies, and stay tuned because if David JRB can take down an empire with a folder and faith, just imagine what you could do.